welcome to Conservative Party Conference Day 2, the morning after the night before, and what an evening it was. And we're joined for this roundup with the shoutings of Mr. Steve Bray, who has, of course, joined us here in Manchester. So what on earth has been happening so far? Well, let's talk about the mood of the place. And generally, the consensus is there isn't one. It's not really anxious. It's not really angry. They're not going at each other. There is a somber mood about the place. One person's even compared it to the Mary Celeste, that it is so vibeless. There have been plenty of rows, to be fair. The big one so far has been over tax, and that has exposed divisions within the Conservative Party and also the problems for the government in trying to hold off those calls, which are now not just from disgruntled backbenchers, but also Michael Gove, a member of the government, calling for tax cuts. This morning we had Jeremy Hunt saying that there are no tax cuts coming in the autumn statement because they will be inflationary. The big story today is going to be Liz Truss's Freedom Rally, where she, along with Dame Priti Patel, Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg, former Cabinet Minister Ranald J. Wardener, all join forces to demand tax cuts. And I think that is a message that is going to resonate with many, many people at today's conference. Labour hasn't really featured much. There are the usual side swipes, the usual attacks. I would posit that the big rapturous applauses in yesterday's speeches were in fact against Mark Drakeford and Nicola Sturgeon. And there's a remarkable clip of the Scottish Tory leader Douglas Ross praising the fact Nicola Sturgeon is no longer First Minister of Scotland, and that went down very well with the Tory members.
Nicola Sturgeon is gone. Well, I can proudly say that her career lies in tatters, and we conference are still here.
And what happened last night? Well, as usual, it was a particularly boozy affair. One of the standout moments was Foreign Secretary James Cleverly announcing that he will be visiting the Falklands, and the Labour Party pose a threat not just to Britain, but also its overseas territories. And that went down very well in the room. There was also the Conservative Democratic Organisation Black Tie Dinner, which was a fascinating affair full of big hitters, not least the likes of Lee Anderson, and Priti Patel made a barnstorming speech, and so did Lord Cruddas, who many Express readers will be familiar. He was put in the House of Lords by Boris Johnson and has now called for Tory donors to stop donating to the party. Such is his anger and fury at Rishi Sunak, and that is a real issue for Rishi at the moment, is that funding which Labour, for once in many, many moons, is ahead on. So lots happening today, and we'll be back tomorrow for another conference update.